Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ski. Just waiting. I'll wait for somebody to get in to watch this, watch this new edition, this new episode. Waiting for somebody to get in this bitch. Waiting for somebody. Somebody. In the meantime, let me make sure my alright. Alright. Since it's been what? A week? It's been a week since I've been live. Shoot. Let's get turned the fuck up. My fault. Yeah.
She keep sucking that dick like she wants something. Turn her on like she got a little hoe, but
Penny X.
she keep sucking that dick like she wants something. Turn her on like she got a little hoe, but why she fucking me back like a whore or something? Hit my phone and they talk about a war or something. Hey Ray, bitch, we finna get paid. Hey Ray, ran the wheel like a slave. Hey Ray, we not worried about Chase. Hey Ray, we not worried about Jason a big fat. Ain't no smoke, but right now you the other side. We not worried about Max, hit all this draft. It's a pack boy pack, we gon' start a fat. How nigga not smoking, just start a fat. I told Rage I'ma throw it in overdrive. And my nigga, your raise, my raise too. They hit shit that don't blue, I got paid too. See these niggas get rich, I got paid too. Got on shit in these chain like a slave too. I don't care what they say, but I really do. If you hear entertainment's a W, best believe what they say, that shit all true. I can make the bitch jump like a kangaroo. I can make the bitch jump like Nike pump. Go to over 3D, now you lookin' dumb. I can make the bitch jump like a spring do. When I let the bitch bump, it gon' sting too. I can execute shit like a king do. If they wanted to win, why they bring you? I'ma let the bitch spray like some sheen do. High pitch with this thing to get seen to. I ain't move with one blink, I'ma bring two. Double down and some Rick or some lean too. If we finna get paid, hey Ray. Got some shit for they brain, hey Ray. I got permanent stain, hey Ray. I'm in love with the game, hey Ray. Pump my rage. Why RG fat, he get laid. Then the twister, they all like a braid. Buck, I ain't running no fade. Buck, he get shot down. Buck, that's a lot of rounds. Top up, boy, he a top clown. Top up, tighten up, get they go box down. Buck, nigga get fucked up out. Buck, then he touched up out.
Yes, sirski. Yes, sirski. Yes, sirski. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Woo! It's been a week, but we back. Welcome to another edition of What the Hell's Happening in Sports. It's your boy Nero. Currently 10:43 on a Wednesday night, getting close to Thursday. You feel me? But we're back with another one. Last time I was on here, I was spoke about, how the Knicks were sorry as shit. And I still had that small sense of belief the Celtics were coming back. But obviously, you can hope for the best, but you know what the very likely outcome would be. And sadly, the Celtics didn't make it. They ended up losing in 6 games to the Eastern Conference semifinals to the New York Knicks. So the Knicks have moved on. I believe are either currently or just finished playing game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers. We're not going to really focus in on that today. Today we're going to... Excuse me. Today's going to be more of a focus on, obviously, the Red Sox. As they just wrapped up their series against the New York Mets. we're gonna get into the Celtics off-season plans as well, kind of what I think of what probably should happen. And then this is the first week of OTAs for the New England Patriots. First week of OTAs. So that means they've had a whole offseason program, for the last, I want to say, close to a month and a half, 2 months. But now everybody's fine, including the rookies, everybody, including the rookies, is finally on the field, taking part of, getting conditioning, learning the offense, doing drills, learning defense, stuff like that. I'm going to get some quick insight for that. I know the media is not really supposed to be in practices like that. I think they only get like one practice a week, I want to say, that they're invited to. And that practice was yesterday, actually, Tuesday. So we'll get into some of what happened on Tuesday that the media was able to cover. And yeah, we'll go from there. My plan is, though, I will say, I'll get into this in the end of the video, but just to kind of say it right now real quick. After today, I'm probably going to focus more on the Red Sox. A little bit of the Patriots, not as much as the Celtics, maybe like draft stuff and whatnot. But after today, it's going to be like Red Sox and NBA playoffs, I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, this is kind of like my last time, for at least for now, kind of really diving into like this, like Celtic stuff and whatnot. But yeah, so yeah, we'll get into the Red Sox real quick. Well, not really real quick. We'll get into the Red Sox. Let me just make sure I have this all set up. All right. Bet. All righty. Word. So, a quick recap on the Red Sox last week. Last time I was on, they got swept by the Detroit Tigers in Detroit. Lost the first game pretty bad, like by over 10 runs. I want to say like 16-2 or something like that. And then their last two games in that series, they lost both games in walk-off fashion, in extra innings, actually. So, yeah, it wasn't, they got swept. A lot of talk, how the Red Sox aren't doing what they're supposed to do, which is fair because they haven't been. But again, still early in the season, but you don't want that to happen. You don't want to get swept. On top of that, after that Detroit Tiger series, they ended up coming back home, played the Atlanta Braves. Again, not as great of a series. They won a game in the series, but ended up losing the series 2-1. Lost game 1, won game 2, lost game 3. Game 1 was started by Chris Sale, and in utter Chris Sale fashion, he shut down the Red Sox. Got his first win against the Red Sox since he's left. Game 2, Red Sox were down by 4 runs late in the game. Came back and I believe came back and scored most of their runs by the 8th inning. So it was 6-2 early on into the 7th. Getting into the 9th, it ended up being 6-6. And then Rafael Devers hit his first career walk-off home run as the leadoff batter in the 9th inning. So I tell you, like that was the vibes right there. Everybody in Boston like, oh wait, the Red Sox are starting to wake up, but then they ended up losing. The next on Sunday afternoon, they ended up losing. So yeah, so it's been a tumultuous start of the year for the team. And then their series against the Mets. We'll go into today's game, but they ended up winning the first 2 games of the series. It was the bats really didn't do much. It was really the bullpen the first couple games that really stepped up. And obviously today, that was not the case as they ended up losing 5-1 on Crochet Day. So we'll get into that real quick. We will get into that. And also kind of some thoughts on this and the first couple games after this. After I get into this game right here. But yeah, we'll start with the Sox since they lost. Jan Duran, leadoff man, had a hit in RBI, did strike out once. Devers, Rafael Devers, excuse me, had a hit and a walk. Alex Bregman, for the first time of his career, for the first time in his career, excuse me, struck out 4 times. First time in his career that he struck out 4 times, and he's been in the league getting closer to 10 years. I know he's at 8 right now. But yeah, it's crazy how Alex Bregman's already close to that 10-year mark. The first time in his career he struck out 4 times. Wilyer Abreu struck out twice. Christian Gamble ended up getting a hit. He's been struggling for the last few weeks. It's probably like a little rookie mental thing, but yeah, he's been off. Did have a hit, had a walk. He did strike out twice. Nick Sogard, starting first baseman, had 2 hits, also struck out once, and he did score the team's lone run as Jarren Duran got him in with a sacrifice fly. I believe in the 5th inning. Yeah, in the 5th inning. Trevor Story struck out twice. Carlos Narvaez had a hit but struck out twice, and Cedon Rafaela struck out twice. All in all, today the Red Sox struck out 16 times. That is brutal. You don't want to strike out 16 times. You don't, because if you're striking out, you ain't doing nothing with the bat. You ain't putting the ball in play. So yeah, they struck out 16 times. Not that great. Pitchers, like I said, Garrett Crochet started today. Ended up going 5 1/3. Gave up 5 hits, 1 run. He walked a guy, and he did strike out 5. So not that bad of an outing, but we'll get into his outing a little after I get into the Met stats in a few. Liam Hendricks had a rough game. He came in the 6th inning. When he did come in, he got both of the 2 men that he faced. He got both of them out. Then he came in for a clean inning in the 7th, and he wasn't executing his pitches. All in all, Liam Hendricks gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, and he struck out 2. But yeah, he got everybody on base in that last inning, in that 7th inning. Brendan Bernardino came in, and in a tough spot, gave up a hit and walked a guy, but all those 3 runs ended up scoring when Bernardino got in. But obviously Hendricks was charged with them because Hendricks was charged with those runs because he was still pitching when he was the pitcher that got those 3 guys on base. So yeah, his ERA is now inflated to 5.56. So that's tough. And then Sean Newcomb, again, he's a starter. He was a starter to start the year. Now he's back in the bullpen. Did what he had to do. Did what he could do. Pitched the final 2 innings. Gave up a hit. Gave up a run. Walked 2 guys and obviously gave up a home run, which led to him giving up 1 run. But yeah, overall, not a great showing by the Sox. They haven't been getting it with the bats the last few games. Obviously, the first 2 games in the series they won, but still haven't really been doing anything with the bats. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully that changes. But yeah, to go with the Mets real quick. Let's see. Francisco Lindor, 2 hits and an RBI. Starling Marte, he started, only had a walk. So truthfully went 0 for 2, but he did have a walk. Brennan Nimmo replaced him later on in the game for fielding purposes in the 9th inning. Juan Soto, 3 at-bats, had a walk, RBI, but he did strike out 3 times. And 2 of those were by Garrett Crochet and made him look stupid. Pete Alonso had a hit and 2 strikeouts. Mark Vientos scored a run, had a walk, and struck out once. Torrens, the catcher, had a couple hits, did walk once, and he did strike out once. And then from the bottom of the lineup, hitters 7 through 9, Taylor had a hit. Acuna, Luis Angel Acuna had 2 hits, and Brett Beatty had 2 hits and 3 RBIs. So yeah, the bottom of the lineup got on base, and that's usually those are your guys. Those are the guys that don't necessarily get on base as much, and those guys right there combined going 5 of 12 from the plate, which is kind of that's tough. Pitching wise for the Mets, the starter Tyler McGill pitched 4 and 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits. He gave up a run, did walk a guy, but the key stat in this is he struck out 10 guys. So he had 10 strikeouts before the end of the 5th inning. That's not good. That's not good for the Sox. If you want to win, if the Red Sox are going to actually win games, I mean, I get you strike out and whatnot, but you can't strike out 10 times in less than 5 innings. You can't, as batters. You can't rack up strikeouts like that quick, because at that point you're not winning no games. But overall, I will say McGill. He actually he pitched pretty well up until that 5th inning. Had some trouble in that 5th inning. But yeah, a good start by him for the most part. Brazobin, or I should say Brazobon pitched 2 1/3 innings, gave up a hit. He did strike out 4. And at one point, when he got into the game, the bases were loaded for Alex Bregman, and he struck out Alex Bregman. So that hurt the Sox also. Reed Garrett, who's had a phenomenal year, just as Brazobon. Reed Garrett pitched the inning, gave up a hit, struck out one guy. And then the closer, Edwin Diaz, shout out to my fellow Puerto Rican. I give that to him. Pitched the inning, walked a guy, struck out one. So yeah, the bullpen did their job for the Mets. Obviously, the bullpen didn't do their job for the Sox. So that was key in that department. That was one of the key takeaways of the game. Also, again, 17 strikeouts by the Sox. 16 strikeouts by the Sox. Didn't help them either. Did not help them either. Going to talk about Crochet for a second. Garrett Crochet only threw 85 pitches today. He only threw 80. He usually gets closer to 100. So it seemed as though Alex Cora took him out early. He took him out early in this game. I know Crochet's been pitching a lot in terms of his innings and whatnot, but with the bullpen kind of taxed from the last couple nights and getting pitching hard innings and getting 2 hard-fought wins behind them, I think Garrett Crochet should have at least got 2 outs to say he pitched 6 innings, because he wasn't doing that bad. I don't know why Cora pulled him early. I really don't. So that's kind of questioning. That's kind of questioning right there, I will say. But I mean, yeah, now the Sox are 25-26. They have a 4-game series set tomorrow at Fenway beginning tomorrow at Fenway with the Baltimore Orioles, who just recently fired their coach, Brandon Hyde, after 2 great years. So they're off to a poor start this year. They just finished, before today, lost 8 straight games. They got back on the winning column now. So today, I should say, got back on the winning column today. But hopefully I almost said the Celtics. Hopefully the Sox can wipe the floor with these guys. That's all you can hope. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's all you can hope. Also worth noting, real quick, when it comes to the Sox, I want to show y'all something. Not really show y'all something, but point something out. Let me go to the schedule real quick, if it lets me play it. Let me go to this schedule. All right. So obviously this is the 4 game set with the Orioles coming up starting tomorrow. Now here's a series right here with the Mets. Right there, right? Oh! I didn't mean to press that. There you go. Obviously, the first 2 games, like I said, the Sox won. First game 3-1. Second game 2-0. Now, Alex Cora actually wasn't really part of these games, and I'll tell you why. Game 1, 3-1 game, Alex Cora didn't manage because he attended his daughter's graduation at Boston College, which is fair. You know, a father should do that. A parent should do that, regardless. Be there for your kid. I know the Boston media wants to talk some shit about that, like, oh, why didn't he manage? Oh, he's the coach of the team. His team's important. Well, it's life. You're not gonna always be there to see your kid graduate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not. You got to take moments for what they are. You know what I mean? Appreciate you tuning in. You got to take moments for what they are. If somebody wants to take the day off to spend time with their kid just graduated, it's their day. Let the parents take the day off. You know what I'm saying? Like, let Alex Cora live. It's just 1 game. Dana Levangie, the old not pitching coach, the old what was it? One of the old coaches for the Sox. I almost said pitching coach. He might have been a pitching coach, but he, back in the day, a few years ago, around the time they won the World Series, he took time off to watch his son play football, high school football. And that wasn't as big of an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, let Alex Cora live. Like, you can't get mad at him for taking a day off to spend it with his kid. His kid just had her biggest accomplishment in life. She graduated college. So, for the Boston media talking all that shit about him, that's wrong. And quite frankly, if you was in the same position, you'd do the same thing too. Because I know I would. If I was managing the Red Sox and my daughter or my son were graduating, if there was their birthday, something like that, like like that's only 1 day. It's only 1 day. But enough of that. Alex Cora didn't manage game 1 again with his kid. Game 2, Walker Buehler was ejected in the 3rd inning for arguing balls and strikes. Alex Cora got ejected with him standing up for Walker Buehler, right? Both these games were actually managed by Ramon Vazquez. And in these 2 games, I saw kind of like a different life with the Sox, pitching-wise. Obviously, he played his cards, sent guys out there, what you should do as a coach, looking at matchups, using analytics and whatnot. But the way how Ramon Vazquez kind of like managed the whole game, truthfully, it was very different than what Cora has done as of late. It seemed as though guys, pitching wise, were more fired up. That's probably the word I would use. They were more fired up. That's just something to note right there. I'm not gonna really dive too much into that, but Ramon Vazquez, even though last night's game doesn't really, last night's win, I should say, doesn't really count for anything, as in your manager record because you didn't start the game as the manager. It's worth noting that those 2 out of those 3 wins, the 2 wins in this series, I should say, Ramon Vazquez played a big part in that. So. But yeah. Next 4 at Fenway Park are against the Orioles. Again, Orioles are not having a great year. Hopefully the Sox take advantage of that. I hope they do this series. And then on top of that, they finish the month of May with 3 games on the road against the Brewers. 3 games on the road against the Brewers. I know y'all hear that. My fault. I think that's my boiler. And then the last 2 games of the month of May, especially going into the first day of June, are going to be at Atlanta against the Braves. So so we got some good baseball ahead of us. Hopefully the Red Sox can take care of business at home this next series, and then we'll see what happens on the road. So, yeah. One other note, because I know I really didn't dive into this last time I was on live. I wanted to talk about Rafael Devers and Rafael Devers' little. I wouldn't call it an incident, but a little bit of a moment involving playing first base. Now, when this was brought up, he basically told the media that he doesn't want to play first base and that the coaching staff and the front office told him to put the glove away and be a DH. Now they're asking him to try to play first base, and he wasn't having that. He basically said that, oh, you guys told me to put the glove away, I put the glove away. Now you want me to bring it back out? Fuck you. That's basically what he said in layman's terms. Now, last week, against, I believe, was it last? I'm still looking at the schedule. Hold on. Okay, so we are here. Boom, boom. Okay, so about close to 2 weeks ago at this point. Close to 2 weeks ago, the Red Sox owner John Henry flew down to Kansas City to meet with Rafael Devers about his comments. Now, obviously, we didn't find out what was really said in that meeting, but Rafael Devers came up with an interesting quote when speaking to the reporters and even, I believe, to Jen McCarthy from The Athletic. In response to how that meeting went, he said it right here. That's in the past. So clearly, there's been an understanding that Rafael Devers will not try and play first base, and the owners are okay with it. And because of this, Christian Campbell, who's normally a second baseman, also plays a little bit of the outfield as well, center field mostly, center field, second base. I think he's been at. Has he been at? No, I don't think he's been at shortstop yet. He might have, but I don't know. But regardless, he's mainly a second baseman and a center fielder. He has started taking reps at first base in the last few days. So we'll see where that goes. And because he's been taking first base reps, one of the top prospects, number 2 prospect, Marcelo Mayer, who's normally a shortstop, has been playing games at second base the last few days. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what happens with that. So, yeah, the Red Sox may be getting a new addition to the team soon in Marcelo Mayer. Who knows? But then again, with how the Red Sox are, I don't push shit past them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things that you can't really trust certain things that they do because, they're, looking out for the best of for the betterment of the team. Like, it's all a bunch of bullshit. And I'm a fan, and I've watched the Red Sox ever since I was a young nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ever since I was a young boy. Like, the old days of the Red Sox from when I was younger, it was special. Now it's somewhat turning into a joke. I still believe in them, though, because that's my team, but sometimes it's tough to be a Sox fan just by seeing what the ownership does, or at least what the front office does, So, but yeah, other than that, moving on to the Celtics. So, like I said, the Celtics ended up losing in Game 6 to the New York Knicks, 119-81. Again, Jason Tatum did not play. Jaylen Brown had, I'm not even going to go through this game stat-wise, but Jaylen Brown had 20. But, he didn't look himself because of that knee. Derek White had a tough game. Porzingis didn't do much, and I'm saying that generously. He barely did shit, if I'm being honest. But it's all in the past now. Like Rafael Devers said, you move on. So yeah, now we are in the off season for the Celtics. Obviously, the NBA draft's coming soon. I'll tap into that soon enough. But here's an article that I did find. It says 8 things to know as Celtics begin off season full of questions. It says Boston is projected to have a potential record-setting payroll for the 2025 season. Now, obviously, last offseason, basically how that first paragraph kind of wrote it. The last offseason, the Celtics were riding by the end of the NBA season, I should say, were riding in duck boats celebrating their 18th championship. Now this year, they got to sit at home and watch somebody else win a championship, which is tough. But I mean, you can't win a championship every year. So it's not the end of the world, but it's just tough because this team was talented. This team had the talent, 6th man of the year, but what held them back is injuries. Injuries held them back. Injuries held them back, bruh. Now, appreciate you tuning in. Earlier in the regular season, when I say earlier, within the last couple months, I should say, the Celtics were sold by Wyc Grousbeck to Bill Chisholm for $6.1 billion. And it's expected to be approved by the NBA Board of Governors sometime in June or July. And the deal is widely expected to be approved, which is, fair. Appreciate you tuning in. What this situation is tricky comes to the salary. The Celtics have $464 million committed in payroll next year. That's fucking nuts. $500 million, damn near $500 million payroll. Come on, man. Like, that's crazy. But the Celtics did it to win a championship. I get it, but now you know what I'm saying? They went all in, and now it's about to look tough. Bobby Marks reported this also. Shout out to Bobby Marks. If the Celtics keep their draft picks, don't trade anyone, and sign players to veteran minimum deals to round the roster, the number will exceed $500 million. So yeah, exactly. So it's at 464 right now. It easily may end up getting to $500 million. Easily. Just by what he just said, signing veterans and whatnot and drafting guys. But the Celtics don't want to do that. They're gonna want to cut payroll, So it also goes in to say, in terms of salaries, the Celtics already have $227.8 million committed to $227.8 million committed to next season's roster. That's $73 million above the projected $154 million salary cap. It's also nearly $32 million north of the first luxury tax apron and roughly $20 million north of the second luxury tax apron. The Celtics are projected to have a luxury tax bill of roughly $238 million for the 2025-26 season. Yeah, that's a whole lot of money. So yeah, this roster is going to change a lot. Obviously, it says next part of the article who is set to be a free agent. Two key big men. Damn, almost got tripped up. 2 key big men. Playoff Al and Luke Cornett headline the pending free agents for the Celtics. Obviously, Horford's older. He's getting close to the 40. He's 38 years old. But he did average 9 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 27.7 minutes per game, almost 28 minutes a game. Starting 42 of 60 regular season games. He started 42 of the 60 games due to Kristaps Porzingis' health. He also stepped up defensively in several games throughout the year, going 31-11 in the games Horford started. So that's something. Do I think Al will be on this team? I believe he will, but there's 2 things. One, I think he'll probably get the veteran minimum deal, and two, he's not. I don't think he's gonna play much next year. Not gonna lie, he's probably just gonna be more of a relegated to the bench. I don't know if he plays much because of his age. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he could, because of Jason Tatum's injury and Jaylen Brown's injury, he may retire also. He doesn't know. I don't know either, but that's gonna be tricky for the Celtics. Oh, okay. I thought I was looking at something real quick. Going into Cornette, it goes on to say that he had, arguably the best year of his career, averaged 6 points, 5.3 rebounds, a block a game in 18.6 minutes. Started 16 of 73 games he played in, with a plus minus of 14.9, ranking fourth among players who appeared in at least 50 games. So that's tough. So that means when he was in there, when Luke Cornette was in the lineup, the Celtics were winning by 15 points. And while he was there, he kept the Celtics in the lead by 15. So, excuse me. But yeah, now you see me feeling it now. Cornette, as much as I want to keep him, he might be expendable only because he should be. I think he'll get onto a larger role with another team. I love him, I do, but again, you got to pick and choose who you're going to pay, guys. You got to pick and choose who you're going to pay. That's really what it comes down to. Last person that's a free agent is Torrey Craig. He played in 17 games after he got signed in February because he got bought out by, I believe, the Bulls, I want to say. Got bought out by the Bulls. He wasn't really playing impactful minutes. And J.D. Davidson, he has a team option for next year, while Drew Peterson is a restricted free agent. All right, so cool. All right, so if that's the case, that's it for at least the free agent part. What draft picks do the Celtics have in the 2025 draft and beyond? The Celtics will have a first-round pick again in 2025, holding the 28th pick. They made a first-round pick for the first time in Steven's tenure as the head of basketball operations in 24 after trading their first-round pick in the 21, 22, and 23 drafts. Boston will also pick early in the second round with the 32nd overall pick. That pick was originally the Wizards' selection, but the Celtics received it as a part of the draft trade, a part of draft night trade in 2023. Beyond 2025, the Celtics are in possession of all but one of their first-round picks for the foreseeable future. They owe their 2029 first-round pick to either the Blazers or the Wizards, which they gave up in a trade to land Drew Holiday in 23. That pick is unprotected. It should also be noted that the Spurs also hold pick swap rights with the Celtics' first-round pick in 2028. That was definitely because of the Derek White trade. It also goes on to say, in terms of trading first-round picks, Boston can't move its 2032 selection because it went over the second luxury this past offseason. They're also allowed to trade one future first-round pick this offseason due to league rules. All right, so, alrighty, there you go. Yeah, I'm feeling it, chat. Feeling it. It's getting late, but I'm here. All right, next part of the article. What moves are the Celtics limited to making entering the offseason? As the Celtics are above the second luxury tax apron, they're limited in what they can do to improve the roster for the 2025-26 season. They can only sign free agents via the veteran minimum. That's tough. And that was mentioned already, but yeah. In terms of players who were brought out, they can only sign players who were scheduled to earn less than $14.1 million in the 2025-26 season. Boston will also be hamstrung in its ability to make trades. It can't aggregate salaries to send out in a trade for a player with a larger salary. Its 2032 first round pick is frozen, and its 2033 first round pick will become frozen if it remains above the second luxury tax apron. They also can't send any cash in trades. Yeah, so the Celtics are deadlocked right now, low key. They'll figure it out, but they're low key deadlocked right now. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. What moves can the Celtics make to get under the second luxury tax? Now, this is going to be tough. In the article, it says arguably the easiest way for the Celtics to get under the second luxury tax apron will be to offload Porzingis in the trade while bringing in. Offload Porzingis in the trade while bringing $0 in salary. That's a lot easier said than done. Yeah, that is. Porzingis has a $30.7 million salary for next year, which is the final year of the 2 years extension he signed when he joined the Celtics in 23. But very few teams will have the cap space to take on that salary without having to send money back to the Celtics. As of Sunday, the Nets and Pistons are the only teams projected to have more than $20 million in potential cap space. Yeah, so. Yep. So, Porzingis, if you want to trade him, you got to be cautious on who you trade him for because you ain't going to get much back in terms of money-wise. They could. I'm not going to really get into what they says right here, but they could offload Drew Holiday, which we know because he's a little bit older. He has a $32.4 million cap hit as part of the 4-year, $134.4 million extension he signed last year, in the last offseason, I should say. Derek White has a $30.4 million cap hit for next season as he enters the second year of his 4-year, $118 million deal. Yep. It also goes on to say the Celtics could trade one of their stars to help clear salary. Jaylen Brown has a $53.1 million cap hit for next year as he enters the second year of a $285.4 million deal. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. It says trading Brown would be a major move, and it wouldn't be ideal for the Celtics to give away one of their top stars. If the let's see. But moving him would be one of the easier ways Boston could shed salary. Obviously, if the Celtics traded any combination of Brown, Holiday, White, or Porzingis and took at least less than $20 million back in salary, they would likely get below the second tax apron. All right. Then it goes on to say the Celtics could also move Sam Hauser or Peyton Pritchard to help facilitate a trade. However, neither player has a salary large enough. Hauser's only making $10.04 million. Pritchard, he's only making $7.2 million, which is crazy. Trading them alone would get the Celtics under the second luxury tax apron. But trading either of them could lead into major savings against the tax. If Boston moved Hauser, it would save $80 million in luxury tax. See, there you go. All right, so that might be another guy to really look at. And then let me just take a look real quick. All right, last thing I'll get into in this article. It says, how will Tatum's Achilles injury impact the Celtics roster in 25? Beyond the payroll situations, Tatum's Achilles will likely be the other key motivation surrounding every move the Celtics make this offseason. Boston's top star is set to miss at least a good portion of next season after tearing his Achilles in Game 4 in the loss to New York. While Tatum quickly underwent surgery to repair the injury, the Celtics didn't announce a timetable for a return. Yeah, he'll be out for a while. He's entering the first year of a 5-year, $313.9, so damn near $314 million deal, the richest contract in NBA history. For next year, he's projected $54.1 million salary for next year, and it will still count against the cap. Yeah, so all in all, if I'm the Celtics, I try to keep Brown and Tatum together. Those are your guys. Keep Pritchard, keep Hauser. I'd move Porzingis and I'd move Drew Holiday just to make it easier for everybody. Al Horford could stay if he wanted to, but I know he'll be more of a bench guy. And then when it comes to Luke Cornett, as much as I want to keep him, I would keep him in a heartbeat. I would, but if he does get a nice deal out there, he might as well take it. But yeah, other than that, last topic of the night, the Patriots. 7 takeaways as Drake May struggles and Patriots OTAs. In layman's terms, in yesterday's practice, Drake May, he threw 4 interceptions, 2 to Christian Gonzalez, one to Del Pettis, safety Del Pettis, I should say, because not many people know him. And then the last interception, or the third, one of the other interceptions. Excuse me. One of the other interceptions was by Craig Woodson, rookie free safety. So, yeah, not that great of a day for Drake May. Not that great of a day yesterday for Drake May because it's Wednesday now. Well, it's Wednesday, almost Thursday. So, yeah, this happened on Tuesday. Yeah, I said all that. Clearly, it says in this article by Mass from Mass Live by who's by Mark Daniels. He goes on to say the Patriots' first open practice of 2025 didn't start on a positive note for May. As the afternoon went on, however, the 22-year-old settled down and finished strong, which that's what you like to see. He started 4 of 8 with 4 interceptions. Like all those guys I mentioned, caught a pick. Completed 7 to 8 passes to end Wednesday's practice. So he went 11 of 16 overall with the 4 picks. Yeah, he's still getting to learn Josh McDaniels' system. I'm not really too much worried about him. He'll learn a lot from him, but also I think Josh McDaniels is going to turn this kid into a fucking weapon. That's what I think. I think this kid's going to be crazy. The guys who missed practice, the practice on Tuesdays, Stephon Diggs, Mac Hollins, Ramondre Stevenson, Sidney So, and Joshua Freeman. Hollins was present in street codes while Diggs is rehabbing a knee injury, which we know. Stevenson is at home because his father died earlier this year. He died in March. But apparently Coach Vrabel has been in communication with him, which is a good start. But it's gonna be an interesting offseason for sure. Guys were limited on Tuesday: Jalen Polk, Morgan Moses, Michael Wenwu, Vidarian Lowe, Jared Wilson, and Javari Ritzy. Those are guys that were limited. So that was Drake May in the offensive. Excuse me. Damn. Offensive. Damn. My fault, y'all. My fault, chat. I felt like I had a burp. But I didn't burp. So that was the quarterback carousel, with the 4 picks and whatnot. Offense, leading the offense, him leading the offense and whatnot. He'll get it. It says in this little piece, Javon Baker made a statement. After the Patriots drafted Williams in the 3rd round, the pressure increased for Javon Baker. Last year's 4th round pick struggled to get on the field and finish with 1 catch as a rookie. That's why it was noticeable that Baker made the best catch of the day. In the final 11-11 period, May threw him a deep ball on the right sideline. Gonzalez was draped all over Baker, but somehow the wide receiver caught the ball in an extremely tight window. That's crazy. So that's an impressive catch. Will Campbell is a day 1 starter. Yeah, I mean, when you're left tackle and you have the talent, hey, I'd put him over there too. Appreciate you for tuning in. Obviously, it's not much of a surprise, but he's been working with Morgan Moses after practice, learning from him. So we'll see how Will Campbell fares in his rookie year. The first offensive line in training camp was Will Campbell at left tackle, Cole Strange at left guard, Garrett Bradbury at center, Michael Wenwu at right guard, Morgan Moses at right tackle. So not to say that this might be the move, but yeah, Cole Strange, might not be there any longer. He might not. But and I'm not even hating. It's just a reality of sports. Just a reality. Undrafted free agent wide receiver stood out. Keep an eye on Efton Chisholm III, an undrafted free agent out of Eastern Washington. Chisholm struck out multiple times on Tuesday. In college, he broke several Cooper Cup's he no excuse me. He broke several Cooper Cup's school records, and it was easy to see why. Um, Chisholm. There you go. Yeah, I almost lost myself. Chisholm hauled in 3 of Dobbs' 7 completions. He also caught 2 passes from Wooldridge, the shot receiver. His speed sticks out, and he was also in the kick return rotation. There you go. 2 offensive rookies looked the part. There are no pads on, so historically, yeah, it's hard, blah, blah, blah. It was easy to notice. So I guess on Tuesday, it was easy to notice Trayvon Henderson. The Patriots' second-round pick is extremely fast with the ball in his hands. Ramondre Stevenson now, due to personal rebounds, Henderson worked with May's offensive group, and the rookie caught 2 passes and 11 on 11s. That's good. That is excellent. That is excellent. Let's see. As for Kyle Williams, allegedly it wasn't perfect as he was targeted on 2 of May's interceptions. However, the third-round pick made one of the best plays when he caught a May deep ball on the sideline with Woodson in tight coverage. Kicker-wise, there's definitely a competition going on with the kickers. The Patriots drafted Andy Borregales in the 6th round, but they also had John Parker Romo on the sideline as well. Yeah, I mean, if he can kick, he can kick. You just got to make him in the game. That's about it. That is about it. There you go. Yeah, no, that is it. So, yeah, that's about it. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you. But for the most part, yeah, when it comes to the Pats, I know there's going to be, a lot of thought into making this team. But for the most part, you got to have guys who are hungry, guys who want to be there for the most part. That's what it's going to turn out to be. Guys who want to be there, guys who look the part, guys who are hungry to get this shit. Because I tell you, it's the last couple of years have been tough. We're going to hear more about OTAs in the coming weeks, and also probably with terms of offense and defensive stuff. We'll probably get little videos and whatnot. So it's kind of to be continued. But I cannot even lie. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open, Chad. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open because I got up at 7 a.m. this morning. And yeah, I think it's my clock is turning off. I'm not going to lie. So I tell you, I guess this is it. If it lets me. Set up real quick because I was sitting back. Yeah, looking a little fucked up. That's all right. Chat. Appreciate everybody who did end up tuning in. I appreciate it. Some news for y'all. I went live today. Last week I bullshitted and said I would go live again on Thursday. But I will be live tomorrow. I don't know when. It might be at night. It might be in the middle of the day. I don't know. I really don't know. I could also do a part 1, part 2 like I did before. Part 1 in the early on in the day, part 2 after the Red Sox game, something like that. But yeah, like I said earlier on the stream, excuse me. So when I do come on tomorrow, well, obviously Red Sox first thing we talk about, but we're gonna mainly focus on the NBA playoffs as well tomorrow. It's gonna be an NBA playoff type of talk tomorrow. Obviously, the MVP was announced. I'm not gonna give it. I know who. Obviously, we should know who it is already. Who won MVP? It's pretty obvious. The kid from OKC. We'll get into that tomorrow. We'll get into the teams like the Nuggets, what Giannis would do. We'll talk about stuff like that as well as the NBA playoffs. But in the meantime, chat, it has been real. Like I said, appreciate everybody who tuned in. I'm gonna be back on tomorrow. Gotta sleep well. I gotta get some work in tomorrow. I'm back on that football grind with my boy E, aka 4K Sav, aka E Bin on, aka the new Dr. Phil. Nah, I'll play with a nigga. But yeah, y'all, I'll be back on tomorrow. We'll get to that talk. Again, Red Sox and NBA playoffs. You already know what it is. It's your boy Nero. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I will catch y'all tomorrow.